So I want to, in the last few minutes here, I want to highlight a system from our library, which I think is a good process to start to consider when you're working on your 4 functions list. Or even if you've already done your 4 functions list, it's a good process to consider. It's called strategic planning right here. And you can go to our library inside of Getting the Business and pull it down from the library. So when you go to the process, inside of it there's going to be some work plans, these exact work plans, and some other tools within it. You can start with the very first work plan and kind of read through it, and it lets you know what the process is about. So this is an implementable, is that the word, strategic planning process. This isn't about creating a vision or even creating a strategic plan. I mean, it gets that result, but it's different than that. It's an active process. It's a process on turning goals into specific actionable items. So this is what TouchStone is about. It's about identifying a process that needs to get a result and then defining the steps to get that result. Training the employees to follow those steps which get that result. Managing the employees to those steps which allows them to get the result. So it's different from just saying we need this or go do that or let me show you how this is done or man, we really need more leads. Let's get on the internet and start, doing pay-per-click ads. It's really more about taking ownership of that particular result that you want to achieve and documenting how it happens. So we've taken this concept, which is what makes documented procedures so fantastic, and developed a strategic planning process that helps managers and entrepreneurs think about the big picture and then leads them all the way to delivering the results or taking the steps necessary to accomplish those goals. So this very first work plan is called the meeting rhythm, and it kind of lays out how you go from a big picture goal and drill it all the way down to actionable steps. So there are different meetings that are recommended. Annual meetings, which is annually for 2 full days. Quarterly meeting, which is, so you have the annual meeting, then you have a quarterly meeting, which is 1 full day. Then you do a monthly half-day meeting. Then there's an hour weekly meeting. And then sometimes there's 5 to 10-minute daily huddles. So we're looking at big results in the annual 2-day meeting. So in the 2-day meeting, you're coming up with what are the goals for the year? What do we want to achieve this year? What's going to happen this year? And you're thinking big picture results. Then you take those big picture results and you break them into quarterly goals. And in the quarterly meeting, which is 1 full day, you're deciding what are the deliverables, what is going to happen in this quarter. So if we want to grow, one of our annual goals is to grow the business, by 20%. In the first quarter, we know we need to generate X number of more leads, and we need to improve our training processes in operations so that the employees are trained when the new sales come in, say. So in the quarterly meeting, you're thinking about what needs to happen in the quarter to then fulfill on that piece of the annual goal. Then in the monthly meeting, you're looking at those quarterly results and you're thinking what needs to happen every month. So here again, we're taking big picture ideas, drilling it down into the quarter, and then drilling it down into the month. So here in the monthly planning, we're getting like really tactical at this point. You're thinking specifically, the big picture is grow sales. The quarterly plan is to improve advertising. Now monthly, we're going to implement new advertising processes. Then weekly is what's happening that week. So if I'm in charge of implementing a new pay-per-click campaign, which is a way that we're going to generate more leads, my goal for the month would be to implement that pay-per-click campaign, track the results, and come back in the weekly meeting with what the results are. Sometimes these equate to what we call key performance indicators. So if my key performance indicator for advertising is that I need to generate 20% more qualified leads, or from $500 spent in a pay-per-click ad, I need to generate 5 leads from that, which are $100 a lead. If that makes sense for the key performance indicators, then I will report on that. So here in the weekly and also in the monthly, we're talking about a documented process. So someone needs to document the process for how to create and manage a pay-per-click advertising campaign. So that goes back to TouchStone, right? That goes back to a list of 4 functions. So they need to list out that process, pay-per-click advertising, build a work plan on how to create the ad, and then maybe a second work plan on how to evaluate the success of the ad. And then there's maybe something on Google Analytics on how to create the reports to then submit and show in the weekly meeting. These daily huddles are kind of nice, especially within larger companies. So like at the beginning of the day, we stand together and say, you know, in this strategic, what are the strategic goals for today? And I would say, yeah, I'm on track with the, you know, the pay-per-click campaign for the week. I'm going to report on it in the weekly meeting. Today I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. So this shows you kind of the funnel of how to go from big picture down to tactical results. There's another work plan here on how to create agendas for each of these meetings. So here's the quarterly. This is a whole agenda for how to come up with, how do you spend the 2 days to come up with your strategic plan for the year and the quarter. Down here, here's an agenda for the monthly and weekly meetings. You know, what to think about. It's always great to start with a positive focus. So I really did, I did this, and this result with the pay-per-click, and you know, this is what my challenges are. Adjusting and tracking. So this is a work plan on that. How to, you know, because not everyone's on track all the time. So if your weekly meeting breaks down, do you then just throw it all out the window? No, you get back to the process. There's a video here to kind of watch on the whole process if you're interested in kind of seeing a bigger picture result of it. And there are forms down here which are useful for this whole process. So up here where we talked about the rhythm, here's an outline. These are the annual priorities. So this equates directly to the annual meeting, where it's that 2-day meeting where you're sitting and thinking, what is the strategic plan for this year? So it's a way with all the flowery language and all the subjective things. This is like, what are our top 5 annual priorities this year? What are our top 4? Don't go more than 5. 5's a lot. So think about even 3. What are the top 3 things that we want to do this year? And list them out. List them here specifically, and then do a little description. In order to achieve these top 3 annual priorities, what are our quarterly priorities? What are we going to need to do each quarter? So this form kind of helps you kind of break it down and make these specific lists. Here's like an example of one. So like 2015 annual priorities: better customer service, increase sales. What are the quarterly goals? To increase customer service, these are the things that we need to do. And then you break it down into weekly. You can even go and do this in the control panel, which is what I was talking about at the beginning, where you're using the tools. So here under the President's Control Panel, I can go to Strategic Planning, and then I can call up this strategic plan and fill it out and save it back to TouchStone. Someone's asking about the activity tracker. So let me go back there. So let me show you that activity tracker real quick, and then I'm just going to end with a few more thoughts on strategic planning. So the activity tracker is in the Guiding the Business function. So when you select that and you go Add from Process Library, go to the General Library, and it's here on the list. So it's under the P section, Process List Development. So this is grayed out because it's already in my account, but you'll see it in yours. You fill in the side here, hit Save, and then it'll be in your system. And inside of it, you can click on the uploaded file, which is called Activity Tracker. So there's a blank one right here, and then there's a sample. So think about this strategic planning process. We've been doing this for years. I'm part of the team that goes on the annual two-day strategic planning. We literally do everything that's listed here and get great results from it. This is strategic activity. This is like taking, your real goals for the business and making it building it out in a way that you can really follow and use. It gets the departments involved. It gets the employees involved. Even in larger companies, these quarterly plans or even the monthly plans can get delegated down to employees. And it can be described to them that our overall purpose is to improve customer satisfaction ratings by 20%. And these are the things that we're doing because of that. Here's the process for it. Let's implement and use it.